Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back here to Daytona. We are getting ready for Daytona 500 pole qualifying. This afternoon, we will set the front row for the Great American Race, the 2017 Daytona 500. We have 42 spots available for the race, but there are 46 drivers and teams hoping to make the Great American Race the biggest race of 2017. 35 spots have already been taken by drivers and teams that are guaranteed a spot on the starting grid. That leaves 7 spots remaining with 11 drivers battling for those spots. Now, obviously the big story about this qualifying is the front row. The fastest 2 qualifiers will start on the front row for the Daytona 500. But there will also be another qualifying race going on. It is the top 3 fastest go-or-go homers, which is on your screen right now. We have 11 go-or-go homers, and the fastest 3 go-or-go homers will automatically guarantee themselves a spot on the starting grid. Now, in the dual races, the highest 2 finishers of the go-or-go homers in the dual races will also make the Daytona 500. We'll get into that a little bit more during the week when the dual races get closer upon us. But for right now, we are getting ready for a single car qualifying. The first driver out will be the number 40 of Cody Ware, the slowest car in practice. That is how qualifying will be going. The qualifying order, the slowest cars in practice will go out first, like Cody Ware, and the fastest cars in practice will go out last, like Casey Kane, who won that practice session this morning. And we'll get a little bit more in this qualifying format as we begin, but we're going to be taking a little break, and when we come back, the first driver will be out on track as we get ready to kick off the 2017 season with pole qualifying here at Daytona. As you see, we are back live at Daytona, and the first driver has already hit the track trying to put a fast time on the board. Also the first go-or-go homer, the number 40 Hamlin Racing Chevrolet of the 40 of Cody Ware. The son of team owner Rick Ware in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Ware is scheduled to run the full season for Rick Ware Racing in Xfinity in 2017. Also trying to make his NASCAR Spring Up Series debut with Hamlin Racing. CarportEmpire.com coming on board. This is the only scheduled race that Hamlin Racing in this 40 team plans to run. They're still trying to find some funding to get this car going a lot more in 2017, but right now this is only a 1-race deal for Hamlin Racing and for Cody Ware. On lap number 1, he put down a 49.301. Each driver will be having 2 opportunities to put a lap on the board. The second lap will almost always be the fastest lap, and I'll show this time a 48.996 for Cody Ware. And that is going to be a little bit slower from what he ran in practice this morning. So Cody Ware, a 48.996 to kick off qualifying. Next driver to hit the track will be the number 23 of David Starr, the BK Racing veteran, looking to make his first career Daytona 500. David Starr, a Truck Series winner and former Xfinity driver, driving this 23 Dr. Pepper Toyota for BK Racing. On lap number 1, he puts down a 48.808. Starr looking to beat Cody Ware's time that he put down, which was a 48.996. He already done so on lap number 1 for David Starr. Now, of course, guys like Cody Ware, who's already went behind the wall into the garage after his lap, and guys like him and David Starr, of course, he would love to go out and try to focus on putting a good enough time to sit on the pole. Right now, they are concentrating on beating each other because only the top 3 fastest go-or-go homers automatically clinch a spot in the 500. And David Starr looking to pick up on lap number 2. Comes down to the line a 48.511 for David Starr. That is a pretty good lap for David Starr. He does, I believe, pick up. Yes, he does. He does pick up from practice. So a good pickup for the number 23 of David Starr. Fastest right now out of the first 2 cars. Next up to take the clock will be the number 46 Aaron Stream Machine Chevrolet of David Reagan out of Harry Scott Motorsports, a new home for Reagan in 2017. David Reagan's agenda for today is a little bit different from David Starr and Cody Ware, the first drivers we've seen go out onto the track today. David Reagan already guaranteed a spot on the starting grid after receiving owner points from the number 55 MWR team that he drove for in 2016. NWR shut down and gave the owner points from the 55 team over to this 46 team to lock David Reagan into the first 3 races of the year. Reagan also bringing sponsorship errands along for the 500. Right now a 1-race deal with Aaron's and H. Scott Motorsports. David Reagan was 44th fastest in practice. He had a 48.367 in practice. He's only a 48.759, the second fastest, and now a 48.486 for David Reagan. That will go to the top of the board at a 48.48. He beats Cody Ware and David Starr. So right now, David Reagan now the fastest in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. The number 52 Go Fast Racing Chevrolet of Joey Gase onto the track now. And I said Chevrolet, I mean Ford, for the 52 Joey Gase. Another Rookie of the Year contender and another driver who's trying to qualify or race their way into the 500. Joey Gase, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, looking to make his first career Daytona 500. The 4th driver to go out to qualify, and he put down a 49.415. That is not only the slowest lap we've seen today, but the slowest first lap we have seen today in qualifying. Go Fast Racing Joey Gase, Donate Life partnering up for the full year. They're fielding 2 cars this weekend with Bobby Labonte, the 2000 Series champion, driving the 32. And Joey Gase driving this 52. Gase drove for Jimmy Means Racing in the Xfinity Series the last couple of years. Moving up to Cup, a 49.415 from lap number 1. What can he run on lap number 2? For Joey Gase, a 49.027. Joey Gase is only 4th fastest out of the 4 cars we have seen qualify so far today. And Joey Gase is pretty much going to have to be focused now on racing his way in through the duels on Thursday night. On track now is 8-time Daytona winner in the ARCA Racing Series, Bobby Gerhart. Is about to complete his first lap. Bobby Gerhart running quadruple duty this during the speed weeks, a 49.263. That is currently 4th out of the 5 cars that we have seen take time. So that is actually 5th out of 5 cars that we've seen take time, and that first lap is a little bit quicker than Joey Gase. Bobby Gerhart running the ARCA race later on this afternoon, right after this qualifying session for the 500. He's also scheduled to compete in the truck race Friday night, the Xfinity race next Saturday night, and the obviously trying to make the Daytona 500 for Bobby Gerhart. Driving for the Motorsports Group, the number 30 Lucas Oil Chevrolet comes off turn number 4. He put down a 49.26. Can he do any better on lap number 2? He does, a 48.972. That is going to be 3rd out of the 5 cars so far, as he did beat Cody Ware along with Joey Gase. Coming out of turn 4 to put his number 26 of David Gilliland. First lap on the board, comes across the line. A 49.020 for David Gilliland, right now 5th on lap number 1. The second BK Racing entry to go out to qualify. David Gilliland, a top 5 finish in this race 6 years ago, back in 2011, when he was driving for Front Row Motorsports. And now David Gilliland right now scheduled to drive full-time for BK Racing in 2017. He'll move over to the 23 car beginning next weekend at Atlanta, or in 2 weeks, I should say. Gilliland, another go-or-go-homer. So far, the first 5 cars you've seen qualify, only David Reagan, the fastest car right now, is the only driver who is automatically in the 500. And Gilliland must be one of the first 3 go-or-go-homers in this session. It comes across the line, a 48.686 for David Gilliland. And that will only be third fastest, second of the Gilligan homers. He does not beat teammate David Starr, who put down a 48.511. So right now, David Gilligan, third fastest at Daytona. BK Racing also has a new driver in the number 83 in 2017. Michael Annett moving over to BK Racing with sponsorship. Pilot Flying J coming on board. Michael Annett was 40th fastest in practice. Now with this reverse order of practice speeds into qualifying, we should be getting a lot more faster times, a lot more quicker cars coming out. Right now on lap 1, Michael Annett, a 48.577, automatically puts him second or third on the board with his first lap. Michael Annett, the only BK Racing car enter that is guaranteed a spot on the starting grid, and right now he's in a sandwich with his teammates. David Starr second, and now David Gilligan down to fourth. And with this lap 2, most likely will be quicker. Annett should be able to even jump in front of David Reagan, who's right now the fastest car. Reagan's been fastest for the last couple of cars who went out. And a 48.308, quickest top of the board goes Michael Annett. The Pilot Flying J Toyota of Michael Annett, a 48.308. He is now the new guy on top of the board in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. Annett, quickest here at Daytona. Next up on track to begin their qualifying lap, the 98 of Reed Sorensen in the Holland Bass Chevrolet out of Premium Motorsports. Another Gilligan homer for which is Reed Sorensen. He was 39th in practice, comes across the line to complete lap number 1, and he puts down a 49.224. That is 8th fastest of the 8 cars that have now pushed it at least one time, one lap in this qualifying session. Sorensen dropping full time for Jay Robinson in 2017. He's also trying to run triple duty. He'll be attempting the truck race and the Xfinity race next weekend as well, as he tries to race his way into the Daytona 500. Sorensen must be a 48.511 atop David Starr, the fastest Gilligan homer, and a 48.972, which is Bobby Gerhardt to get inside that top 3 of the Gilligan homers, but that may be a stretch. Coming out of the final corner into the tri-oval, a 48.950 he does. 5th fastest for Reed Sorensen. He tops Bobby Gerhardt, Cody Ware, and Joey Gase. But there's still a lot more fast Gilligan homers left to go. And Sorensen may have to be prepared to race his way in on Thursday night. But right now, Reed Sorensen, 5th fastest at Daytona. Now taking a look at the 27 of Paul Menard, the next driver to hit the track to qualify for the Daytona 500. Paul Menard, a 47.810 is what he ran in practice to put on 38th fastest in practice. Menard at a new home, Harry Scott Motorsports. Left Richard Childress Racing. This is only a 1-year deal at H. Scott Motorsports, replacing Justin Allgaier in the 51, but they changed numbers to 27 to match his number that he ran at RCR. Paul Menard, like his teammate David Reagan, is already locked into the 500. Now just trying to get a good lap here in qualifying. 48.839 is what he ran in or on lap number 1. That put him 5th fastest on lap 1, but can he pick it up a little bit here on lap number 2? His teammate David Reagan is second right now. Comes across the line, a 48.520 for Paul Menard. That is going to put him 4th of the 9 drivers that have now taken time here in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. 4th fastest for Paul Menard. Back at Daytona with the next car onto the track, that is the number 10 of Brian Vickers, the Stewart Haas Racing Haas Automation Ford Fusion for 2017. Vickers, his first time driving for Stewart Haas, his first time driving a Ford. And he'll complete lap number 1. Vickers ran single car runs in practice, which is why he was pretty slow. And why he's one of the first cars out, but he goes right to the top of the board, a 48.038. That is the fastest lap we've seen today in qualifying. Brian Vickers, a very good lap, a lot quicker than Michael Annett from Annette's second lap to compared to Vickers' first lap. Next couple of cars we'll see go out will be threats for the pole. We have Eric Jones coming out soon. We have Chase Elliott coming out soon. Guys who could go out and possibly put a lap on the board, which could be for the pole. Ryan Vickers replacing Regan Smith at Stewart-Haas Racing comes down the line to complete this lap, a 47.762, a very nice lap for Brian Vickers. Top of the board goes to Haas Automation Ford for Brian Vickers. After seeing Brian Vickers post a very nice time on his second lap, we're looking at guys who could challenge him for the top spot, the number 77 of Eric Jones. Rookie of the Year contender looking to make, who will be making his Daytona 500 debut for Furniture Row Racing. Barney Visser, the team owner. Freightliner, the sponsor. And he puts a 46.997, a very good lap by Eric Jones. That is a very good lap by Eric Jones. That is way faster than Brian Vickers and way faster than guys like Michael Annett, who's now third. I mean, this is a very good lap by rookie Eric Jones, and that's only his first lap. So you have to know this next lap is going to be a lot more quicker than his lap number 1. Eric Jones looking at the ticker right now, he's the 11th job to qualify. A lot more cars left to go, but he's going to put a big exclamation point on how fast his car is. A 46.756 for Eric Jones. It's over 2 seconds faster than Michael Annett, who is now third on the board. Now taking a look at the 32 of Bobby Labonte, the Go Fast Racing number 32 Vision RV Ford out of Go Fast Racing. Labonte, the 2000 Series champion. This is rumored to be his final start in the Daytona 500 and possibly his final year racing in the NASCAR Spring Up Series. Labonte driving the primary car out of Go Fast Racing, a 48.693 for Labonte. That is right now 8th on the board. He's one of our Go Homers, and right now he is in the top 3 of the Go Homers. Must beat David Starr, who is right now 5th overall, a 48.511 to become the fastest of the Go Homers. And from the lap he put on lap 1, the amount of time he could gain on lap 2, this could be a very good lap for Bobby Labonte. Coming out turn number 4, the checker flag in the air. Labonte, a 48.416. That is 4th overall for the 2000 Series champion Bobby Labonte. Nice lap for the 32 car. The 4th and final BK Racing driver to post the time here in 500 qualifying, the 93 Ryan Ellis. Another driver who's looking to make his first career start in the Great American Race. One of our Rookie of the Year contenders. Will be running full time in this Science Logic Toyota for BK Racing. Ryan Ellis was posted a 48.536. That is a very nice lap for Ryan Ellis. He tops David Gilliland, and Ellis will become one of the top 3 fastest Go Homers just from his first lap. And he could top Bobby Labonte, who's right now 4th, and he could even get in front of his BK Racing teammate Michael Annett, who's right now 3rd on the board. See how lap 2 goes for Ryan Ellis. He was pretty good in practice too. He was fastest of all of his teammates, and said he was very happy with his car after practice. And let's see how it is going to be in qualifying. A 48.303, 3rd fastest for Ryan Ellis. 3rd fastest out of 13 cars. I'm now taking time, and Ryan Ellis now looking pretty good at possibly qualifying his way into the Daytona 500, but a lot more Go Homers left to go here from Daytona. And now here comes the locking in part of this qualifying session. The 55 Elliott Sadler. Either he or Ryan Ellis will know that they are guaranteed a spot on the starting grid after this next lap. Elliott Sadler must be a 48.303 to put this car in the show, and he does a 47.063, a great lap by the 55 of Elliott Sadler. He will race in the 2017 Daytona 500. Congratulations to Premium Motorsports, Jay Robinson and Elliott Sadler. They have done it on lap number 1. That leaves 2 spots still open for grabs on making the show based on this qualifying session. Right now, Ryan Ellis and Bobby Labonte holds those 2 spots, but it'll probably come down between those 2 versus Landon Castle and Ryan Reed. And Sadler looking to possibly pick it up a little bit on lap number 2, and he does a 46.916, just a little bit slower from what Eric Jones ran on his second lap. Second fastest right now, though, for the 55 of Elliott Sadler. One of the biggest threats to possibly win the pole here at Daytona this afternoon is the 24 of sophomore driver Chase Elliott. One of the names that the garage was talking about being a favorite to win the pole was this number 24 Napa Chevrolet. His teammates Junior Kane and Johnson were very fast in practice. Elliott focused on single car runs, and lap 1 he posts a 47.616. That is right now only 3rd fastest though for Chase Elliott. He's right now ranked 3rd out of 15 cars have now taken time in qualifying. Eric Jones ran a 46.756. Elliott Sadler ran a 46.916. And from what Elliott ran on lap 1, that is kind of a stretch for him to possibly get enough of a way good lap on this second one to maybe get in front of the 55 and even the 77 of Eric Jones. But we'll see what he does here coming to the checker flag to complete his qualifying run. Chase Elliott, the 24, a 47.299 third for Chase Elliott. So Eric Jones will hang on to the top spot yet again, a 46.756 still the time to be here from Daytona. Next driver to hit the track will be another go homer trying to lock a spot in the starting grid of 35 rookie Ryan Reed. Out of Bob Jenkins and Front Row Motorsports, moving up to the NASCAR Spring Up Series in 2017. Won a NASCAR Xfinity Series race here back in 2015. So he is very good when it comes to racing here at Daytona, and he put down a 48.602. That is only 11th fastest of the 16 cars that have taken time, so that is not the lap Ryan Reed is hoping for, and he needs to get at least a 48.303 to qualify for the Daytona 500, and he could do it. Just needs to pick up about 300ths of a second this lap as he comes down to take the checker flag. Ryan Reed a 48.148, and he does it. Ryan Reed 5th fastest overall, and Ryan Reed will make his Daytona 500 debut in next Sunday's Great American Race. Ryan Reed has qualified for his first career 500, 5th fastest for Ryan Reed. Now taking a look at another Rookie of the Year contender, the number 33 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet of rookie Ty Dillon. Looking to make his another Daytona 500 debut, which is this time being Ty Dillon. Replacing Paul Menard over at Richard Childress Racing, moving up from the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Had a fantastic 2016 season on the Xfinity side, and he posts a 47.245. That is 3rd fastest overall for the 33 of Ty Dillon. Right now the top 5 quickest times are Eric Jones, Elliott Sadler, Chase Elliott, Brian Vickers, and Ryan Reed. The 17th qualifier, Ty Dillon. The Bass Pro Shops number 33 comes off the final corner. Ty he posted a 47.312 in practice, so he's already topped his practice speed, and a 47.100 for Ty Dillon. That will be 3rd quickest overall for Ty Dillon. We're back live, getting ready for the next car to go out to qualify, the 38 of Landon Castle. the Snap Fitness Ford, and the final Georgia homer to go out to qualify this afternoon is going to come down between Landon Castle and Ryan Ellis, qualifying their way into the Daytona 500. His teammate Ryan Reed has already locked himself a spot in the Great American Race. Chris Buescher, their other teammate, is already guaranteed a spot in the show. And Castle is going to get a 48.696. That is around the area, that area time Ryan Reed, his teammate, posted just 2 cars ago. And look where Ryan Reed ended up. He ended up with a 48.148. Landon Castle must be a 48.303 if he wants to qualify for the Daytona 500. If not, Ryan Ellis will make the show. Coming down into the trial to get the checker flag. Can Landon Castle do it? Can he make the 500? A 48.402. No, he does not. 9th fastest for Landon Castle. He does not qualify his way into the Daytona 500, meaning that Elliott Sadler, Ryan Reed, and Ryan Ellis will all make the Daytona 500 in 2017. Landon Castle, a 48.402, is only 9th overall for Landon Castle. The fastest car out of the Georgia homers does not qualify for the 500 today, but he will have another shot on next Thursday night to race his way in. We'll see what Castle can do, but for right now, Sadler, Reed, and Ellis are locked into the 2017 Daytona 500. And that is all for part 1 of this qualifying video. We'll be back tomorrow we'll be back later on for part number 2. Welcome back, race fans, here to Daytona 500 pole qualifying, bringing you part 2 of this qualifying session. And we have the 19th qualifier on track, the 95 of Michael McDowell. McDowell returning for a full-time year at Levon Family Racing in the Thrivent Financial Chevrolet. And lap number 1, he runs a 48.252 on lap number 1. That is a pretty good lap. 7th overall for Michael McDowell. Now McDowell is one of the many cars already locked into the Daytona 500. We have no more Georgia homers left to go out. You saw at the end of part 1, Landon Castle unable to qualify his way in. Elliott Sadler, Ryan Reed, and Ryan Ellis will all run in the Daytona 500. And McDowell comes out of turn number 4 to put his official lap on the board. He is 7th on lap number 1, comes across the line. A 47.958. That will put McDowell 6th overall in the 95. Now taking a look at the 17 Fastenal Ford of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. returning for another year at Roush Fenway Racing, the first Roush driver to hit the track for 500 qualifying. Stenhouse, the 20th driver to take time. Still at the top of the board, as you see, is the 77 of Eric Jones, Elliott Sadler 2nd, Ty Dillon, Chase Elliott, and Brian Vickers, Michael McDowell, Ryan Reed, Ryan Ellis, Michael Lynette, and Landon Castle. Stenhouse on lap 1 runs a 48.222. That is only good enough for 8th on lap number 1. That's around the same time we saw Michael McDowell run, I believe. And McDowell only ended up 6th, so we'll see what Stenhouse can do here on lap number 2. Comes out of turn number 4 into the trial to take the checker flag on his qualifying run. Picks it up to a 48.004. That will be 7th overall for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Next up on track, the 31 of Ryan Newman, your reigning series Daytona 500 champion. And before we go any further, I'd like to point out we made a mistake. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who set a 47.004, is not 7th fastest. He's actually 3rd on the board. We have a little bit of a problem with the ticker, but Stenhouse is 3rd fastest in his Fastenal Ford. Ryan Newman, who's now on track at a 48.220. That is around the time we saw Michael McDowell and Stenhouse run, I believe. 48.220. That is over 2 seconds slower from what Eric Jones ran on his 2nd lap. That was just how fast that 77 of Aaron Jones was. Coming at turn number 4 to put his second time on the board. Checker flag is in the air for Ryan Newman. Comes off turn 4 into the travel, and he'll pick it up to a 47.919. That will put Ryan Newman, I believe, 7th overall for the 31 of Ryan Newman at a 47.919. Next up on track, the number 18 M&M's Toyota of Kyle Busch. The first of the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas to take time here in qualifying. Kyle Busch, the 2015 NASCAR Spring Up Series champion, comes across the line a 48.150 on lap number 1. That is only 10th overall for Kyle Busch. And so far, despite Stenhouse having a pretty good time on his qualifying run, we have not really seen nobody get into the 46th bracket, which is where Aaron Jones and Elliott Sadler currently stack up. Right now, the front row for the 500, right now, it looks like it would be Aaron Jones, the rookie, and Elliott Sadler, the returning veteran, in the 55. Coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Busch. Not really the first lap I personally was expecting a 48.150, but can he pick it up a little bit better? He does, to a 47.844. Kyle Busch, 7th fastest here in Daytona. Okay, the next driver to hit the track will be the 34 of Chris Buescher, another Rookie of the Year contender. He loves travel stops forward. Out of Front Row Motorsports, the only driver out of Front Row who came to Daytona knowing that he would be in the show. Chris Buescher, this 34 team, received honor points from the number 12 team Penske Ford. The 12 car scaled back, had to scale back their Cup program, had a closed, or at least closed the team for right now. Sold out their honor points to Chris Buescher in a 34 team, and at lap 1 he put down a 48.535. That is right now 13th, right in front of his teammate Landon Castle, who is currently now 14th. Chris Buescher, the 2015 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, makes his way into the trial to complete lap number 2. The checker flag is out, a 48.230 for Chris Buescher, 11th overall for the 34. Next driver to hit the track will be the number 14 5-hour Energy Ford of Clint Bowyer, making his first season with Stewart-Haas Racing, replacing the now retired Tony Stewart. Comes across the line a 48.318. That is only 14th on lap number 1. His teammate Brian Vickers is currently 6th on the board right now. Trying to see if he can pick it up a little bit. See at least if he can get around where his teammate Brian Vickers is. Making his way through turns 3. Clint Bowyer drove for Furniture Row Racing in Bonnie Vista 1 year ago. Got a win at Infineon. Made the chase. Advanced to the round of 12. Comes across the line. Bowyer, can he get a good enough lap to get inside the top 10? 48.049. That is only 10th fastest for Clint Bowyer. Struggling on speed so far, it appears to be Stewart-Haas Racing. Bowyer 10th here at Daytona. Now we have the number 11 of Denny Hamlin, the FedEx Express Toyota Camry. On track now, coming across the line, his teammate Kyle Busch put up the 7th quickest time. Denny Hamlin comes across the line, a 46.741. Top of the board goes Denny Hamlin. That is now the quickest time we've seen today. A 46.741. To compare that to Aaron Jones' 46.756. A nice lap by Denny Hamlin knocks Elliott Sadler off the front row for the Daytona 500. Now, and that's only on lap 1 now, trying to pick up on lap number 2 to see if he can maybe get enough better gap on the field and see if he can maybe hang on to a front row spot. Picks it up down to a 46.519. That is over 2 seconds faster than his teammate Kyle Busch, who is now 8th on the board. Fastest guy in town now is Denny Hamlin. Now taking a look at the 44 of Regan Smith, the AAA Ford out of Richard Petty Motorsports, making his way out of turn 4 to put his first time on the board. Regan Smith is the 26th qualifier today at Daytona. Comes across the line a 48.346 is what he puts down to lap number 1. That is only 16th overall for Regan Smith. His teammate Eric Almirola was in the top 10 in practice. Regan Smith was all the way down in the 21st spot. So not really the lap Regan was going for on lap number 1, but he still has another shot to pick up inside the top 10. Regan moving from Stewart Haas Racing over to Richard Petty Motorsports for this is a 1-year deal. AAA coming aboard with a full-time sponsorship. Comes across the line. Smith a 48.051. He does pick it up, but only 12th overall for the 44 of Regan Smith. Next car on track to hit the clock will be the number 7 Golden Corral Speed Stick Gear Chevrolet of Cole Witt. Comes across the line to put his first lap on the board. Cole Witt a 48.392 for the number 7 of Cole Witt. We are now getting into the top 20, the fastest 20 cars from practice. Cole Witt was 20th in that practice session this morning. And right now his lap from lap number 1 would put Witt with a 48.392. That would put him 17th of the 27 cars that have now taken time here at Daytona. Cole Witt moving from JGL Racing on the NASCAR Xfinity side, moving back out of the NASCAR Spring Up Series, sponsorship Speed Stick Gear, returning with Cole Witt. Got Golden Corral on the car this weekend at Daytona. Coming across the line, what can they do? A 48.106 for Cole Witt. That'll be right behind what Regan Smith ran, 13th from the number 7 of Cole Witt. Now taking a look at the 42 of Kyle Larson, 19th in practice. These cars should be getting quicker and quicker as we go on in this qualifying session. That's the way this format works. And Larson comes down the trioval at the line, a 47.822, his first lap for Kyle Larson. That is 8th overall for the 42 car. That's a pretty good first lap for Kyle Larson. May not be a pole run, but that could be a very good lap to get him inside the top 5. Right now, your top 10 quickest drivers: Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Dillon, Chase Elliott, Brian Vickers, Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman, and Michael McDowell. That is your top 10. Kyle Larson with that lap, a 47.822. He's now 8th, at least on lap 1. Looking to pick up some time. Got 10th place in the Sprint Unlimited last night. A 47.418, 7th for Kyle Larson in the 42. Now on track to number 6, your 2011 Daytona 500 champion, Trevor Bayne. Now takes it to the track to put his time on the board. The 29th Go Homer, 18th in practice. His Roush teammate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is right now 4th on the board at a 47.004, and Bayne puts down a 47.642 on lap number 1. That's a pretty good first lap for Trevor Bayne. That lap for Bayne would put him right now 8th overall. And lap 2 is you can normally pick up about 2-3 hundredths of a second, so that could possibly put Bayne maybe at least in the top 6 or 7. Just depends how much he can pick up, how much time he can save on this next lap. Coming at turn number 4, your 2011 winner, Trevor Bayne. The Edward Care Ford Fusion takes the checker flag, a 47.416. That'll be 7th overall for Trevor Bayne. Beats Kyle Larson by 2/1000ths of a second, a 47.41 for Trevor Bayne. Now, the number 78, Martin Truex Jr. takes to the track. Your Sprint Unlimited winner from last night. He was 17th in practice. His teammate Eric Jones right now second on the board at a 46.756. But what can Truex do on lap 1? A 46.787. Third for Martin Truex Jr. That's only on lap number 1, and that could be a good enough lap to maybe take the pole position away from the 11 of Denny Hamlin. These Toyotas are showing that they had the speed to get inside that 46 bracket. Denny Hamlin has never won the pole for the Daytona 500, but Martin Truex Jr. has all the way back in 2009 when he was driving for Dillon Incorporated. Now making his way out of turn number 4, the Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry. And Martin Truex Jr. enters the tri-oval. The checker flag is in the air. Can Truex go to the pole? No, he does not. A 46.556 second for Martin Truex Jr. Comes up a little bit short, but he'll be on the front row for right now, second for the 78. Next driver on track, the 16 of Greg Biffle, the clean Ford out of Rouse Fenway Racing. The third and final driver from the organization to take a time in qualifying for the Daytona 500. Greg Biffle comes across the line, a 47.939 on lap number 1 for Greg Biffle. That is right now 13th on lap 1. His teammates are close together. Stenhouse is 5th and Trevor Bayne is 8th. Rouse Fenway has shown some speed so far during the speed weeks, at least in practice. They were very happy with their single car speed and their speed in the pack, which could be very beneficial when we go to the duels on Thursday night and the Daytona 500 1 week from today. Greg Biffle, a 47.939. Sponsor Clean coming on board for the majority of the 2017 season. Making his way through the tri-oval, a 47.669 for Greg Biffle, 10th for the number 16 of Biffle. The number 3, Cheerio Chevrolet, Austin Dillon, making his way out of turn number 4 to complete lap number 1 on his qualified run. Teammate Ty Dillon and brother Ty Dillon right now is 6 on the board. Other teammate Ryan Newman 13th at the line. A 46.5112 top of the board. Austin Dillon takes the top spot away. A great lap by the number 3 of Austin Dillon. He crashed the Toyota party at the front of the scoreboard, and now Austin Dillon, the driver you have to beat if you want to win the pole for the Daytona 500. A great lap for the number 3 of Austin Dillon, now looking for his second career pole in the Daytona 500. And he's not done yet. He has another lap to try to get even a better lap to make it a little bit harder for these remaining 15 or so drivers to knock him off. To the line, a 46.349, a very good lap by the number 3 of Austin Dillon, but there is still a lot more good cars left to go, and now it's Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin on the front row for the Daytona 500. If somebody could possibly knock Austin Dillon off the pole, could it be an RCR affiliated teammate, AJ Allmendinger, the number 47 Kroger Chevrolet, making his way out of turn number 4, the 33rd qualifier. AJ Allmendinger comes to the line, 14th in practice, a 47.513. That's not really going to be enough for the pole, at least if lap 1 is concerned. Allmendinger is only 11th at the line with his first lap. Still a pretty solid lap. Well, not the lap AJ was hoping for after the lap we saw Austin Dillon put down, and he went right to the top of the board. AJ Allmendinger looking for a little bit more speed, trying to get inside that top 10. Now this Now, we talked about the front row. Third on back will be determined by the Can-Am duel. So they're just, now these drivers, just trying to get a good lap on the board just so they will have a better starting position in their duel race on this upcoming Thursday night. And Allmendinger picks it up to be 47.232. A pretty good lap for Allmendinger, 8th overall of the number 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. Next up on track, the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford of Ryan Blaney, the next driver to tackle the Daytona International Speedway in qualifying. Now, we've seen a lot of teams go out to qualify like Joe Gibbs. We've seen a Hendrick car, Chase Elliott. We've seen some Stuart Haas cars, some RCR cars. But we have not really seen a Penske car go out, or a Penske affiliated car like Ryan Blaney. So we're not really sure what to expect from the 21 of Ryan Blaney. But we should expect something good. A 46.750, fourth fastest for Ryan Blaney in the 21. Had a great lap. That's kind of on the, I believe that's around the area where Austin Dillon ran on his first lap. So Dillon may be a little bit nervous, and Hamlin may be a little bit nervous of being knocked off the front row by the number 21 of Ryan Blaney. Drove for Team Penske last season. They had a cutback to 2 cars in 2017. Blaney picked up a full-time ride at Wood Brothers Racing, team owner Leonard Wood. Making his way off the final corner. Can he get to the front row? Could he get to the pole? A 46.525 third for Ryan Blaney. Not enough to get the front row, but a great lap by the sophomore driver Ryan Blaney. Third fastest for the number 21. Casey Mears, the Geico Chevrolet now takes to the track to put a time on the board for Daytona 500 qualifying. Casey Mears in his 7th year at Germain Racing comes across the line a 48.645. That is not nowhere what they were expecting. That is a very bad lap for Casey Mears. That is only 30th on lap number 1 for the Geico Chevrolet of Casey Mears. Germain Racing has an alliance with Richard Childress Racing, JTG Doherty Racing, Levine Family Racing, so you would expect Mears to be a little bit quicker than that. At least get maybe inside the top 20, but that is nowhere where his teammates or affiliated teammates are at on the checker, and trying to get a little bit better lap here on lap number 2, but he'll need a big pickup, or this will be a real disappointing qualifying run for Casey Mears, a 48.401, and it is disappointing. Only 25th for Casey Mears. 25th of the 35 cars have now taken time here on pole day. One of the bigger threats for the pole here, the number 2 Miller Lite Ford of Brad Keselowski, your defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion. Now a 2-time Cup champ, winning the title last year, winning the title back in 2012, and now looking for a good lap here in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. Ryan Blaney went out a couple of cars ago, third, and a 47.136. That's a little bit off from what Ryan Blaney ran. That is only 9th quickest on lap 1 for Brad Keselowski. Keselowski finished 4th in the Sprint Unlimited last night. Had a shot to win the race, unable to get the win, but did not start to kick off his season. And right now, Keselowski thought maybe he would have a little bit of a better shot at the front row after what he saw Ryan Blaney put up. But Keselowski not really able to match what his teammate Ryan Blaney ran. Now they're not actually teammates, but in a way they are teammates. And what can Brad post on lap number 2? A 46.792. Pretty good lap 6 for Brad Keselowski. He makes up for the poor lap 1 and puts that car inside the top 10, inside the top 6 for Brad Keselowski. Now we are getting into the fastest 10 drivers from practice. The number 20, the Walt FlexVolt Toyota Camry will kick it off. Matt Kenseth. Teammate Denny Hamlin, second. Affiliated teammates Truex and Eric Jones, 4th and 5th. Kyle Busch all the way down 16th. Matt Kenseth, a 46.745. A great lap for Matt Kenseth, 5th on lap number 1 for the 20 car. But what can he post here on lap number 2? He still has a long way to go to get what Austin Dillon ran, to get in the same league with what Dillon ran. He ran about 200 quicker than second place Denny Hamlin. Austin ran a 46.34, Denny Hamlin a 46.51. So Kenseth has a little bit of a distance to go to match what Dillon ran. But he has a shot though, coming out of turn number 4. The 20 of Matt Kenseth enters the tri-oval. Can he go any further? A 46.494. Second for Matt Kenseth. He knocks Denny Hamlin off the front row. New outside pulsing right now, the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Great lap by the 20 of Kenseth, and now we have 9 drivers left to go in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. The defending Daytona 500 pole sitter now, the number 22 of Joey Logano. Takes the white flag on his qualifying run. He puts down his first lap on the board, a 46.713. A pretty good lap by the number 22 of Joey Logano. He's right on top of his teammate Brian Keselowski, 7th on lap 1 for Logano. Logano, one of the drivers who made the Final Four in the championship race at Homestead 1 year ago. Got 4th in the championship. Logano won 6 poles last year, and it all began right here from Daytona, winning the pole for the Great American Race. He has to beat a 46.34 to match Austin Dillon and a 46.49 to match Matt Kenseth just to get on the front row. And he has a shot though. Can Logano pick it up here on lap number 2? A 46.495 third. He misses the front row by 1/1000th of a second. Logano goes to third on the board. He misses the front row by 1/1000th of a second. Matt Kenseth will hang on to yet another car. We have 8 drivers left to qualify. 3 of them are Hendrick Chevrolets. One of them the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. A 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Dale Jr. comes across the line. A 46.588. A great first lap for Dale Earnhardt Jr. That is a very, very good first lap, and that may be enough to knock Austin Dillon off the top of the board. Teammate Chase Elliott all the way down in 13th. Kind of struggling compared to what Dale Jr. just put up. That is a very good, strong first lap, and that may be enough to definitely get a front row spot and maybe even the pole away from Austin Dillon. Jr. won the pole here back in 2011. Coming across the line, can he knock Austin Dillon off the top of the board? Yes, he does. A 46.154. Top of the board goes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's now the fastest man in town here at Daytona. Next up on track is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. With 7 drivers left to qualify, Kevin Harvick you would think would be a big threat for the pole, but when you look at where his teammates are currently at, Brian Vickers 18th, Clint Boyer 22nd. Kevin Harvick may struggle in this qualifying session, but let's see what he does on lap number 1. No, he does a very good lap, a 46.562. That's a great lap for Kevin Harvick. Much, much better from what Brian Vickers and Clint Boyer posted, and Harvick a 46.562. Could that be enough to knock Dale Jr. off the pole? That could be. I mean, that honestly could be. That could be enough to get Austin Dillon off the front row. It's Jr., Dillon, Kenseth, Logano, Hamlin, Blaney, Truex, Jones, Keselowski, and Elliott Sadler. That is your top 10. But with Harvick cracking inside the top 10 with his first lap, he'll go to second. Kevin Harvick, a 46.341. Second for Kevin Harvick in the 4. Making his debut in the Ford in the NASCAR Spring Up Series. Right now, second in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. The number 43 Patty Blue Ford of Eric Almirola now takes the track. 6 drivers left to qualify. Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick make up your front row. Almirola was 6th in practice, but the bad news, his teammate Regan Smith is 24th. Almirola not really sure what he has when it comes to single car speed. That's going to show right here on lap 1, a 47.690. That is nowhere from what the last couple of cars have ran. 47.690. That is only 19th on lap 1 for Eric Almirola, who had a great run, a great car in last night's Sprint Unlimited. Good in practice, but when it comes to single car speed, Almirola may be off a little bit. A lot quicker than what his teammate Regan Smith ran. Last about 5 or 6 cars have had a lot of good speed. Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, Austin Dillon, Matt Kenseth, Logano, 5 drivers. The top 5 all went very recently. But the speed is not there for Almirola. A 47.37 when he does pick it up on lap number 2. That will put Almirola 16th with his qualifying lap here from Daytona. Carl Edwards on track, and if Joe Gibbs Racing wants to have a car on the front row for the Daytona 500, their last shot relies in Carl Edwards' hands. And number 19, Eris Toyota. Your top 5 fastest cars in practice now, starting with Edwards, who was 5th in practice this morning, a 46.701 for Carl Edwards. That's a pretty good lap. That's only 9th overall, though. When it comes to putting a 46.70 on lap 1, that's a good lap, but that's not really front row material. You may need to be in the 46.50s if you want to have any shot at knocking Dale Jr. or Kevin Harvick off the front row. Edwards is the last Joe Gibbs Racing driver to go out to qualify. His teammates Kenseth 4th, Hamlin 6th, and Kyle Busch struggling in 21st. Edwards inside the top 10 with his first lap, 9th on lap 1. Can he pick it up any on lap number 2? To the line, a 46.466. A good pickup. That's 4th for Carl Edwards. He'll be the fastest of his Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. 4th outside of row 2 is where he is as of right now for the 19 of Carl Edwards. Now, Kurt Busch, the 41, 4th in practice. He's kind of an unknown. We've seen 2 of his teammates run poorly outside the top 20, but then he saw his other teammate, Kevin Harvick, get to the front row. What does Kurt Busch have here in qualifying? And it's going to be as the same with Boyer and Vickers, a 48.462. That is a bad first lap for the 41 of Kurt Busch. A 48.462. That is all the way outside the top 35. And that is a poor lap for Kurt Busch. Bad enough there may be something wrong with the 41 of Kurt Busch. That's 35th for Kurt Busch. His teammates are 2nd, 21st, and 25th. Talking about Kyle Busch being the poor Joe Gibbs Racing car today. Kevin Harvick is the only good Stewart-Haas Racing car today. Kurt Busch coming out of turn 4. What does he have to show in lap number 2? A 48.176. That is 29th for Kurt Busch. A very bad lap. Not what he was hoping for in the Monster Energy Chevrolet for Kurt Busch. Then there were 3 cars remaining to qualify for the Daytona 500. The next one, the number 1 McDonald Chevrolet of the 1 of Jamie McMurray. Jamie McMurray, the 2010 Daytona 500 champion, coming out of turn 4, 3rd in practice, but what can he post on lap number 1? A 47.853. That's not a good lap either. McMurray only 23rd. His teammate Larson is only 19th. So Chip Ganassi Racing not really showing that much speed when it comes to single car qualifying. They looked very good when they were in race trim in the packs here around Daytona, but right now single car speed is not McMurray or Larson's best friend right now. A 47.853. His first lap, 23rd right now for McMurray. On lap number 2, it'll be Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane, the final 2 cars left to qualify. Jamie McMurray comes out to the final corner, down to the line. What can he post on lap number 2? A 47.561. Picks it up to only 20th. 20th from the number 1 of Jamie McMurray in the McDonald Chevrolet. Now we have the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Last night's Sprint Unlimited Pole Center, finished 7th in the race. His teammate Dale Jr. is on the top of the board. What can Johnson pull here on lap number 1? A 46.765 for Jimmy Johnson. That's a pretty good first lap when it comes to a spot inside the top 10, but that's not really front row material for the 48 of Jimmie Johnson. Dale Jr. ran a 46.154. He ran around a 46.50ish on his first lap, and Johnson not really that close to what Jr. put up on his first lap. But Johnson has another lap to try to find some speed and see if he can make a run at the front row. Dale Earnhardt Jr. could lock a spot on the front row with this lap being slow. Jimmie Johnson comes across the line a 46.538. Johnson 9th overall in the 48 car, and that will put Dale Jr. on the front row for the Daytona 500. All eyes around Daytona are on the number 5 Farmers Insurance Chevrolet. Casey Kane, the fastest guy in practice this morning. The last driver to go out to qualify here in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. Lap number 1, he puts down a 46.634 on lap number 1. That is not where he should be if he wants to challenge Dale Jr. or Kevin Harvick for a front row starting position. Jimmie Johnson ran a slower lap than Kane on his first lap, and Johnson ended up 9th. Casey Kane was a little bit quicker than the 48, but will it be enough to get all the way up to the front row? I don't believe that'll be enough for the pole, but could it be enough for maybe a second place? Could he knock Kevin Harvick off the front row for the 2017 Daytona 500? They come out. Casey Kane comes out the final corner, down to the checker flag. A 46.414. He'll come close, but not close enough. 4th overall for Casey Kane. And that means Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins his second career Daytona 500 pole. And for the first time in his career, Kevin Harvick will start on the pole, will start on the front row for the 2017 for the Daytona 500. So that is going to wrap up qualifying here from Daytona. And that is all for the NASCAR Spring Up Series at Daytona in a couple of days. Next up on this channel will be the ARCA Racing Series 2017 season opener. Kyle Weatherman and Rico Aber will make up the front row for the Lucas Oil 200 coming your way right after this qualifying video. Until then, congrats to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick, your front row for the 2017 Daytona 500. Stay here as ARCA Racing from Daytona will come here very shortly. Goodbye, everyone.